After watching LGR review Moto Racer, I just had to get it for myself to try. But of course, I wasn't going to pay the asking price on GOG nor Steam. And since this is an older game, I figured GOG would be the better option. So once the sale occurred, I snatched it up in the Moto Racer Collection bundle with all 3 major titles.
What a deal!
Now, it's time to finally give this game a go for myself and see if it's any good. And let me tell you right now, Moto Racer is a game where... So what is Moto Racer? It's a racing game where you race motorbikes and dirt bikes on various tracks with fast-paced, fluid, albeit touchy controls and racing. Plus a great soundtrack to keep you engaged with all the action, all within 3 different modes and several different bikes to choose from and play with.
Sounds amazing.
Moto Racer surprised me. It left me wanting more, which is both a good and a bad thing. Allow me to explain, starting off with the controls. Much like Daytona USA, this game has pretty smooth and basic controls. In fact, this game controls quite well. Almost buttery smooth. You can reassign buttons in the options menu, but the defaults is the left analog stick is your steer for left and right, A is for accelerate, B is brake, and that's it. You have to map the other buttons basically, those being your stunt and boost button, and of course your view changer, which I wouldn't recommend you use the first person view with dirt bikes. Dear God, do I feel sick. Outside of this, that's basically it. You don't need a whole lot more, but when it comes to menu navigation, it's still mostly mouse based. So get used to swapping controls around as you select things. Not a huge deal, but something that can be a bit annoying at times. Yes, it's an old PC game, and we're even lucky there's support for a controller.
Indeed.
Though the analog stick feels a bit sensitive, almost as badly as a Twitter user, as you can easily fly off the track if you push it just too much to one of the 2 directions, which can easily cause you to crash or just bump into the wall and have to get accelerating to catch up to everyone else.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Lost the race. Race completed.
Son of a bitch, damn it!
Try again.
So once you pick one of the 3 modes to play, you can pick a bike to race. These are literally just reskins of the same model. So you're picking which cosmetic you prefer, but also which one's stats you prefer, as each bike varies in their acceleration, max speed, grip, and brakes. So choose wisely depending on your skill and which track you're playing on. Plus, you can also choose automatic or manual transmission. I'd suggest auto by default for newcomers till you can get a grip on this game's mechanics. So, how about we get some practice mode in before the big race? In practice mode, you can play all 4 tracks and choose to have a timer or not with checkpoints throughout the track. Also in practice mode, you can select the number of laps with the max being 8. Sadly, there's no CPUs in this mode. Those are in single race and championship instead. So, once you've gotten a grip on this game's controls and mechanics, you'll want to play other modes, where you have more going on. Well, in single race, you can choose your bike, track, and that's it. There's 4 tracks in Moto Racer, 2 for motocross bikes, and 2 for dirt bikes. I'll just say this now, I hate the dirt bikes and prefer the more tight and fluid motocross bikes instead. It's a jarring difference that I never get used to. In this mode, you want to get at least 3rd place in a race. Yeah, obviously you'll want to go for the gold that is 1st place.
Oh, no shit.
If you do, you get a nice victory screen.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Then the game's credits will roll every time you land 1st in any race in single race. Thankfully, you could skip this if you want. So let's move on to the tracks themselves, because there's not much else to talk about. This game is very basic and a bit lacking.
Ah boy, here we go.
The 4 tracks are Speed Bay, Snow Ride, Westway, and Dirt Arena. Yeah, very generic forgettable names, I know. But 2 of the 4 tracks are actually good, those being the motocross ones of Speed Bay and Westway.
Surprise.
Speed Bay is the first track in the game, and the best one overall. Very colorful, vibrant, simple, and fun to play in. Much like Daytona USA, I just enjoy the more official looking track the most. In that game, it was the Speedway track, just a simple loop of sharp turn before the finish line to throw you off. Here, this one is just as simple, with some sharp turns and tight spaces to throw you off, but overall, is just a pleasant experience. Snow Ride is a fugly, long track of 2 laps where you need to navigate a rocky, bumpy, hilly, snow and diarrhea covered mountain track. There's nothing enjoyable about this one. The dirt bike sound is irritating, and those sharp turns and bumps throw me off too often. I just hated this one. Westway is track 3 and easily the 2nd best. While I'm not a fan of deserts and consider it a sign of laziness on a developer's end when they use it for video games, I mean, it's just dirt and rock. It requires no hard work or dedication. It's generic, bland, lifeless, boring, and stupid. Part of my problem with Fallout New Vegas is its setting. Much like Monster Hunter Wild, being just a generic desert map. Lame.
Lame, yes.
I like how Westway has these old, timely western buildings, oil pumps, Hispanic architecture, long winding turns, and a gas station. The detail, variety, does help a bit, and it feels good to race on. But you know what doesn't feel good to race on? Track 4, Dirt Arena.
Here it comes.
Dirt Arena is another long, winding dirt track, this time all diarrhea and no man dust, as you bounce off of hills and fall down steep ones with sharp turns right below, not being viewable till it's too late. It's just a fugly and boring, frustrating track, and is easily the worst one in the entire game. This one is also the one I warned you about using first person view on earlier. Oh god, never use first person view on this track.
Okay.
The last mode is Championship, where you need to win every race and that's it. There's nothing else to it. Just race for the sake of racing. Yeah, I don't see the appeal of this mode, so let's just move on to the other section and be done with this review. I got too many projects in the works, and not enough time left in a year to make them.
Too bad. You'll have to try again. Congratulations! You have the best time.
An annoying thing I'm not sure how to fix is when you're done racing, then go back to select a bike as you keep playing. All bikes will be invisible during selection, which doesn't seem to be too annoying until you remember the only way to tell what bike is what is by looking at its stats below and trying to remember which bike has the best handling but worse speed, or the best speed and the worst handling. It's just not a good thing, and it did get annoying as I kept playing. Maybe it can be fixed, but by default it's irritating and shouldn't ever be a thing.
Amen.
There's a decent amount of options. We can change difficulty, amount of racers from 24 to 8, the controller type of keyboard or gamepad, 16:9 mode, which I don't get. Is that the aspect ratio? I'm not seeing it. Also, you cannot change resolutions for some reason, so enjoy that crisp 640 by 480. Oh boy, the music. It's time to talk about the music.
Now change und channel.
Well, that's like the one thing we can't do.
You like Daytona USA's music or any game that has fast beat tunes, especially racing games? Well, Moto Racer has that covered. I'm glad I found the soundtrack, as it's full of many amazing tracks. Not Daytona USA iconic and memorable, but good stuff anyways that I'll be using in future reviews.
You have wasted my time.
At the end of the day, Moto Racer is an average game well worth playing. It's basic and a bit lacking, but for the few pennies I had to pay for it on GOG alongside its sequels, I'd say I got my money's worth so far, and will one day gladly look at Moto Racer 2 and 3.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Go ahead and give this game a go if you're interested. Just be sure to get on sale, as its normal asking price is a bit too much. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later. I decided I might as well get this off my computer and finally review Moto Racer 2. Wasn't looking forward to it after the first game was just so painfully meh. But maybe the sequel will be a vast improvement over the first game, right? Well, not really. So, what is Moto Racer 2? It's the sequel to Moto Racer 1 that tries to solve some issues of the first game, but in turn, just leads to more quantity over quality. You still have your two types of races of motocross and superbike. You still have all three game modes, plus a new addition we'll cover later on, but that's about it. If you're expecting anything new or improved, you'd be basically wrong. Controls are still the same as Moto Racer 1, which made it easy to jump right into the game. The only thing I had to do was use the keyboard to change my view option till I could rebind it in the options menu. At least the first person looks good and doesn't make me sick akin to the first game, namely with those dirt bikes. I hated those tracks and the sound of the bikes. But thankfully, everything has been fixed here in that regard. You use the arrow keys to steer, accelerate, brake, and reverse, spacebar for stunts, Q and W for gear shifting, tab to look behind you, and E for view change. It just works. And yes, there is indeed controller support. Both types of motocross racing are here, superbikes and dirt bikes. Nothing has changed at all for superbikes. It's still the best option of the two races. I will never get tired of the fast and fluid racing these things have to offer. Thankfully though, finally dirt bikes are not irritating to listen to, nor do they control badly. What helps too is the tracks themselves have seen changes. No more dirt arena.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Really though, I finally enjoyed playing with these bikes. So good on you, Moto Racer 2. Too bad it's one of the only few pros you got going for you right now.
Attention on deck.
Your three modes return, so let's get them over with. Your
practice mode
allows you to practice racing on every track in game, including your custom ones, with whichever bike you want, setting up the amount of laps, and of course if you want time attack or not. We'll use it, why not? In
practice mode,
you just race all alone. It's not fun when you have no competition. But since I enabled time attack, we do have competition. The timer that speeds down faster than the stock market under George W. Bush.
Political? Oh.
Just race through the checkpoints to keep your timer up and complete all the required laps. That's it, and it's just okay. But I'm not a fan of
practice mode.
The best mode is still single race, where we can select whatever track we want to race on, including our own creations. Then we select the time of day, weather, speed, and then pick our bike depending on which type of race it is. Though all bikes share the same stats and colors between the two different kinds.
Wow, so many options.
It's just a model swap between them. So it's nothing really special, but hey, pick your favorite color to only find out it's the worst bike in the game. Yeah, that's an issue. Maybe include color variants for each different stat or something. Or just let us customize the bike's model to give it more different stats while retaining our preferred color. Asking for too much, I know.
Oh, no shit.
3, 2, 1, go!
Once we have everything set up, we begin a single race. And yep, it's a single race alright, on whichever of the several themed tracks you chose. There's Grand Prix, Brittany, Amazonia, and Sahara for every race type, but one exclusive to motocross dirt bikes is Forest. Even though there's still forest maps under Amazonia for superbikes, so whatever. Still, the idea of different themes to give tracks more variety was neat on paper, but the execution wasn't. You still play the same exact tracks, just with altered layouts. So once Grand Prix will be more wonky, and the other will be more simple and circular, but it's still the same themed track with the same exact models and everything, with the same tunnels, trees, whatever. Nothing is really different. So it's an illusion of quality over quantity, but in reality it's quantity over quality. Just imagine if you played this first Moto Racer, and there's over a dozen tracks, but it's all the same with the 4 already available. Just more variants of Dirt Arena? That's not good. And that's the problem with Moto Racer 2.
Over.
They took the easy way out to add more content, so no matter what, every track is the same, including the ones you can make. More on that later.
This sucks.
Championship is still the same thing, with nothing to gain as you just race on each track and must place first. It's boring, and it's just not worth the hassle, as the AI can and will rubber band so far ahead you'll never catch up. I do not like championship mode at all.
Yes. Just fucking, you know? I think your shit is a fucking show.
One feature in Moto Racer 2 that caught my attention immediately was the introduction of a track editor. But after playing around with it for almost 15 minutes, it's clear there's no real depth or options available. It's like StarCraft's map editor. It's not Warcraft 3 in depth. No, it's just a basic option of morphing a track into whatever shape you want, but you can't make tracks too huge, or else the game won't let you use it or even test it. So don't go expecting to make large tracks with tons of turns and whatnot. Nope. You can't even see your track in full 3D until you test it. You cannot change or even decide what goes where. You just choose from the 5 themes, and that's it. It's so basic and pointlessly tacked on here.
Flawless logic.
Heck, even just trying to play your tracks is a pain. If you set the time of day or use different weather options, the game will crash. I do not like this game's music over the first one. Moto Racer 2's soundtrack is just nails on a chalkboard. I'd recommend you turn it off in the options and play something else on your computer before launching the game. Anything but Moto Racer 2's music. It's just the same single song on endless loop that doesn't last long, leading to more repetition and irritation. Depending on which theme the track is, you only get a single song. There's just something about this game's music that gave me a migraine, and now I'm kind of in a pissed off mood. At the end of the day, Moto Racer 2 is just a disappointing, painfully average sequel that doesn't really give you much reason to get it after the first game. Sure, it's got improved graphics and tons of tracks.
It's good.
But there's only 5 themes with the same visuals and the same single song playing over and over again, so the illusion of more content is quickly broken.
Ooh, that's bad.
The track editor is vastly restrictive with nothing really to do besides make a penis-shaped track or whatever. The game itself feels like it wants to crash all the time when switching to in-game loading screens and the menus, but still, it's a playable game with some hiccups.
It's good.
Plus, the game does crash randomly, especially if you use certain weather options like snow and fog or nighttime for some reason. It's just a meh game that, unless you never played the first game, let alone just need another Moto Racer fix, there's not much real value here.
That's bad.
It's not Terminator 2 Judgment Day of video game sequels, it's Jaws 2. It's just there to milk the hype of the first game. It's not dreadful, but it ain't anything great. It's just there.
Can I go now?
Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later. I was expecting great things for the last of the Moto Racer Trilogy of games I bought on GOG last year. Well, it turns out I was expecting too much from a third entry in a long-running series. Turns out this one is easily the worst one by far. Graphically, control-wise, gameplay-wise, content-wise, and overall quality-wise. Moto Racer 3 was just a terrible, terrible time that left me depressed. Before you can even play, you'll need to set up a profile by entering a name, nickname, age, country, and email address. Geez, why not ask for my blood type and sperm count too? Why don't you, Moto Racer 3? But after this clunky UI experience, I got to the main menu. And, well, yeah, you can clearly tell some dumbass graphics designer who spent years doing nothing but listening to Nirvana and smoking dope while attending art school thought he was being revolutionary with his idea of a video game user interface. It's a complete and total mess to navigate, as I spent several minutes just trying to figure out what does what and where certain things are. Even after playing for an hour, I'm still confused by this train-wrecked, drug-infused nightmare of a UI system. Please keep whoever came up with this far, far away from making video games ever again. Sincerely, everyone.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now. This is cancer. This is so much cancer that I can feel the tumors growing on my back. And it's way down heavy on me, and it's not okay. Can you help a nigga out and just stop this? Please?
Speed is just your normal bike racing mode with the good bikes, except the track that's available is total fucking dog shit. It's not meant for these kind of bikes, nor the amount of racers participating. Tiny sharp turns, tiny track width, And too many racers. Yep, let's make that the very first track and only one available in this mode to turn people off from continuing to play our game. What a stupid concept, and showcases just how DSI had no idea what they were doing at this point. Glad they're gone. They deserve to be shut down.
Race completed. Nice fucking model!
Dirt bike mode is back as SX/MX, with tiny race tracks in a stadium where you and one too many racers try to win a race. The bikes control poorly and the track design sucks. The annoying bike sounds are back from the first game, except a million times worse. Oh, and there's no camera changing options too. So, if the camera messes up, you're stuck dealing with it till the game decides to randomly fix it. I absolutely hated this mode, but not as much as the next one. Trial is by far the worst mode of them all, as you're all alone on the garbage dirt bikes, trying to pull off stunts with terrible controls and driving mechanics that never work right. Want to back up? Can't. Want to turn? Most of the time, you can't. In fact, most of the time will be spent smacking your face into the ground or literally clipping through the objects. Yes, you can clip through the obstacles, and the game will punish you for it. Fuck you, shit mode, we're moving on. Another new mode is freestyle, where you just ride around on the dreadful dirt bikes, pulling off stunts, except half of the time the controls don't work and I just do nothing or fall flat on my face. This mode sucks, and there's nothing fun about it. Maybe if there were AI-controlled racers and we were competing for the most points pulling off stunts, it might have been a little more engaging. Sadly, however, the gameplay doesn't work and I got a negative points in the end. Fuck this mode. The last mode available is one that was really touted about when the game was released. Reason? They were desperate to sell this piece of shit game, that's why. So, traffic mode is your last mode available, and it's also terrible, as you race through a tiny highway of France, dodging traffic. Your goal is to win first place against one other driver. Yep, boring. And the track being a highway leaves a little wiggle room for error. One screw up will literally cost you the entire race, as the AI will rubber band so far ahead, you'll never catch up.
Race completed.
Oh well, I couldn't have expected much else from this game. Let's move on to the other section and be done with this piece of shit. The music is terrible in this game, just a downgrade all around. I couldn't even bother using it in this review because of how god-awful it was. If there was an in-game options menu, I'd mute it. But nope, if I want to see the options, I have to quit the game, launch it again, as the game uses a stupid launcher for all settings now.
But that's stupid.
Every time you move around the menus, launch the game, go into a race, exit a race, watch a replay of said race, the game will keep minimizing itself for a brief second, as if the game is trying to off itself, because even Moto Racer 3 doesn't want to live knowing it's Moto Racer 3.
You got real dark.
What the hell's all this shit?
Want more tracks? Can't play them unless you have credits. How to get credits? Play the single free track you get over and 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 over again. Yep, that's it. That's all you get at first. One track per mode. Grind. Earn 12 points through 12 races, then you can unlock a single new track. There's 3 tracks per mode, I guess. Who honestly cares at this point? I'm just about as enthused for this game as LGR is for The Sims 4.
Not so good, huh? Not so good.
So yeah, 12 races later, unlock one new track for whichever mode you want. Then go do 12 more races to get one more track. Oh, and the third track isn't 12 credits either. Oh no. Now it's 24.
Fuck that!
Yep, there's only 3 tracks per mode. There's no additional content on offer here. You get so little in comparison to Moto Racer 2. I'd gladly take reused assets to make new shaped tracks if it meant just more stuff to play with here. Like, how do you make 3 games in a row and the third turd has almost less content than Moto Racer 1? Was this game rushed? In development hell? There's no excuse here. Moto Racer 3 has no substance.
Scud. That's good shit right there.
Sadly, there's no more track editor. Instead of taking the flawed system and improving upon it, they just scrapped the whole fucking thing. So now, you only get 3 tracks per mode. Enjoy it, cause if you don't like any of them, well then.
Oh, well, f them. And f you too. I piss in your faces.
This leaves you with little to no content to play with, and it's also why I'm done with this review now. This whole thing was a waste of my motherfucking time. At the end of the day, Moto Racer 3 was just a disappointing experience. Each entry just made me appreciate the previous one even more. Moto Racer 3 made me see Moto Racer 2 in a new light, as 2 did for the first one. Honestly, out of all 3, now, I'll have to say stick to Moto Racer 2 overall. As for the third turd, just avoid it, and don't waste any money on the damn thing.
Oh, I will.
Bad controls, bad UI, terrible grind to unlock only a few new tracks, no track editor, bad music, bad sound effects, fugly graphics, and every mode except one being terrible as well. Moto Racer 3 is just a giant pile of dookie. Eventually there will be a compilation of all 3 games. Till then, however. Anyways, that's it for this video. See y'all later.